Check, check. What up, Moana? We're back, baby. Hey. That's okay. Check, check. We're good. Okay. So, Hunter, yeah, ready to rumble. Lots of love from India. I love India. I love India. So, where's Maven Shorts? Maven Shorts in here? I'm sure it'll come in eventually. Bro, my peacock's standing right there, staring at me. So I'm not going to turn the camera because I don't want to adjust it. But he's like right at the, he's like staring at me. Okay, yeah, we active, bro. I need to get some more clips. That's what we need to do. We need to get more clipbait bullshit for what's the peacock's name? This one's name is Paco. The future wife named him. Then I have Christian and I have Damien. Christian's the most beautiful, of course. Damien's the, and then there's a bunch of females. There's Maven Shorts. I need to get some clips, Maven Shorts. My channel is not getting as many views as it was a month ago. So what are the things that I say that are clickbaity? What are the things that cause people to be mad on clips? Can't remember. So maybe we'll try to pull out some clips here and there. I think it's like stop losses. People really don't like my beliefs on stop losses. I don't think you need a stop loss. People really like me talking about Tory trades. People really like
introduced buy now pay later accounts from Mav and get yours.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, the pay later. First of all, let me show you this because actually this will be a good clip just to make an ad out of. Let me. Where's the frickin' pay later? Maven, 1 second. Gosh, buy now, pay later. Buy. Yeah, here we go. So if you go here, we have Maven's got a $5 challenge now. I mean, it's $5 for the challenge, but then you obviously have there's an activation fee, right? So it's like basically free.
Tags, hashtags, and all for YouTube algorithms. I am seeing your shorts are not getting viral.
No, hashtags don't do anything. But yeah, $5 for any account size, right? So this is sick. Like honestly, if I were to be dead on honest with you guys, I personally like trading the futures models, right? You know, on prop firms. I prefer, even though I own a CFD firm, I prefer the futures models because it has cheaper account to pay for the challenge, and then you pay for the funded phase, right? I know futures is a lot harder to trade. The challenges are a lot harder to trade than CFDs. Personally, I prefer them because it's only one step, right? And it's end of day trailing, right? So I don't like the really tight trailings, right? So if I were to pick a Maven challenge, this is the one I would personally pick, right? Because it only has one phase. I don't like the two phases personally. What I personally want is a large drawdown I don't care about consistency. I think consistency is super easy to pass. You just have to trade 5 days, right? Super easy to pass. And the only things I care about personally is I want as fast to fund it as possible with a large drawdown, right? So this is super easy to pass, the phase 1, right? And then it's got a large drawdown, right? Like this is easy to pass. Be honest, like you're gonna pass this probably, right? And so I don't really care about like what I would probably do is I'd probably buy a 10 or 20K personally, right? $100, $200, whatever, right? And then you have an 8% drawdown on funded. It's basically a funded account for $200, 8% drawdown. That's sick, dude. This is the one that I would personally pick, but you know, to each their own. A lot of people like the two-step better because two-step is the easiest overall to make the most money. But personally, as a good trader, this is the shit I like, right? Anyways, buy now, pay later. You can find it on the Maven Discord. Can you trade red folder? News trading is allowed, correct. News trading is allowed. Isn't that crazy? See, that's the shit that like people complain about. People complain about they can't trade the news. Fuck yeah, you can trade the news now, even unfunded. You know why? Because consistency score, right? Consistency score allows you to... Nice, we got a pretty good viewership so far already after... And this is like... I'll be honest with you guys. I am both a trader and a prop firm owner. So I understand your guys' pain and the pain of the prop firm. You guys don't understand the pain of the prop firm, right? The issue with allowing news trading is people go nuts, right? They go nuts, right? And we have to deal with... I just seen the kiss. Okay, anyways. Just seen the little kiss emoji. Anyways, we have to deal with the traders that cause problems, right? And majority of people trading don't cause problems, but the few that do ruin it for everyone else, right? So a lot of traders will come on and they'll just fucking go nuts on the news, right? So you have to turn off the news basically, right? And what they'll do is just like fucking gamble on the news, and it's like a 50-50, and then it just ruins the challenge because you're not really trading. You're just cheating the system basically, right? So with a consistency score, you're allowed to trade the news, because if you do that on the news, well, you've made so much money that you've just blown up your consistency score. So you've just ruined it for yourself. So the consistency score is actually a good thing for you because it allows you to then trade the news. Right? It allows you to not have these crazy rules. Like there's no stupid rules on this thing, right? Because the consistency score stops people from doing crazy Hail Mary bets, all or nothing stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nice. Anyways, I'm breaking it down for you boys. If you guys need the prop firm secrets, I'm here to tell you, because I talk too much. I'll tell you whatever, right? Oh, no light on the Maven logo. Let me turn that on. Let me turn on my lights. I've been sleeping in the dark, man. Been living in the dark. Turn on the lights, baby. Turn the lights. Here, wait. Let's play lights. I don't know if you guys can hear this song, but wait. Lights. I think I have a song that I have. Lights out? Is it light out? Light out? The shit, dude. Light songs. Can I search light songs? Search lights. Oh my god, there's so many light songs. Light switch, this is it, eh? I don't know if you guys can hear it, but wait. Is that it? Should we trade or what? Consistency score per trade or it's per day, bro. Consistency, a regular consistent score is per day. Oh, it feels good to be back, baby. Okay, let's make some money. I'm up already for the day. I'm not gonna switch.
Trade predictions markets grow.
Pick me. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, so we're getting demonetized immediately for that. I think I make like $3 a day for these live streams from ads, which is fucking sick because then it covers my cost for losing when I have a losing day. It's like at least I made $3, right? Okay, so so realistically, boys, okay, literally just look at this, okay? We're on the NASDAQ. This is the move that brought us to the high. We failed to make a new low, right? So honestly, that's a pretty far move, so they might not take it all the way back up. But the market is crazy bullish. So I'm in a buy here, right, on a whatever account somewhere, right? Not on this Maven one. So I do want to be in buys here. Like, it makes most sense to be sitting on buys. So I'm just going to enter a buy here. I know we took forever to take a trade today because I was just fucking about. But TTS is working, yeah. Is it not working or is it working? It is working, yeah. It's working, yeah. I just don't know if, bro, why shorts? What do you mean? I'm bullish, bro. On NASDAQ, like, to be honest, for you to short the NASDAQ right now, you gotta be a just buffoon. And I don't use that word lightly. Buffoon. Absolute buffoon for you to short this. Okay, so last month though, we made like 18% just sitting doing nothing on the NASDAQ. Isn't that crazy? That's insane. Look at this move. Look at this move. I think like this is not sustainable, first of all, because companies do not. If you just think about it logically, what is the NASDAQ? Okay. No, it's not a trick question. The NASDAQ is 100 top tech companies. That's it. In the US. That's it. It is the 100 top tech companies in the US. So what is the NASDAQ then based out of? Their performance of these 100 companies, okay? At what rate do you expect a massive company to grow per year maybe? I don't know. 10, 20%? That would be really good. 10, 20%. If a large company grew to 10, 20% per year, that would be really good. Now, what if it grew 10, 20% per month? Well, that's fucking impossible. For a large, imagine Amazon growing at a rate of 10% per month. It makes no sense. And that's what the NASDAQ is showing currently. We grew 17% last month. Do you think the average tech company, massive tech company, is growing at 17% in a month? No. So by that logic, this is impossible to sustain. Impossible. Okay? There's a lot of ways you can look at that, and you can just break it down logically and say, that is not a thing that exists ever. This has never existed. These companies cannot grow at that rate. It's not possible, first of all. And even if it was possible, like, you think the logistics of just like fucking, just because AI came out, right? The logistics are just that much easier all of a sudden that you could suddenly grow 20 times as fast. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So it's overhyped nonsense, okay? This will collapse at some point. And it's with certainty. You just don't know when. But mind you, I'm not going to short it because it's stupid. At the same time, why would you short it? We're gonna long. We're gonna make some money, baby. Okay. Does Maven have a API for trading? No, you cannot use it. If you're building a bot, just trade your own funds, bro. You don't need prop firms if you're using algorithmic trading. Let's just be real. If your algorithm works, you don't need a prop firm. I'm being dead on honest with you. If you have a bot that actually does work, you do not need a prop firm because you are a billionaire. Okay, that's it. But bots don't work, right? They don't really work. If you looked at a trader's account for just 5 minutes without knowing anything about them, would you immediately be able to tell if they have a chance of surviving long term? Probably, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I could just say no to everyone and be right 95% of the time, right? Without even looking at the account. I could not look at anyone, but realistically, I can tell who's actually a good trader within 5 minutes, yeah, of looking at their trades. I've been doing this for 13, 14 years, dude. Let's look at some other things. You want to look at gold. Realistically, like, nothing is moving except for the NASDAQ, really. I want to just touch on copper. We've been copper bulls for a long time. If you've been following along, you should be in copper. You should have been in copper months ago when we bought, like, way back here, okay? And what I just want to bring to your attention is I want to make sure that we gain this monthly level, okay? On copper, okay? Now, I am in a copper company, right? This is going to be based off of copper, obviously, and I also have some copper somewhere. I can't remember where, but the copper chart is going up, right? And data centers require copper. EV cars require copper. Everything requires copper. New housing requires copper. Everything requires copper. So, and there's a copper shortage currently, and copper is expected in the next decade to exceed the current growth rate that it is on right now, right? So it's supposed to, the copper growth rate is supposed to increase, right, within the next decade. Okay, so that means that the price of copper has to go up in order to mine more copper, right? For companies, again, think of everything logically. We could get more copper, right? We could just go get more copper for all of the demand for copper, because the demand of copper is going up, right? We know that the demand for copper is going up. We know that that's a given, okay? So you could just go mine more copper, right? Companies could do that. But why are they not doing that, right? It's because it's not financially advisable. Everything requires silver as well. Yeah, but the thing with silver is it's already gone up, right? Silver already did this, dude. So why would I buy silver after it's already gone up on this massive run, right? Copper to me is the next silver, right? It's the next fucking silver. So it's the exact same thing as silver. They kind of get mined together. But now mining companies are like, hey, it makes sense now to mine more silver and find new deposits of silver because I can make a lot of money off of this now. Copper is the same thing. Nobody wants to mine copper until the price goes up, and then the companies will start mining it, okay? So I'm holding both copper and a copper mining company, right? But right now, like, if you look back, like, this is kind of what copper looks like right now. You see this? Like right here. Copper kind of looks like that going up, right? If we look at copper, it's just going up, right? Let me go MG. Is it MG? Wait, sorry. HG. See, look. Is that not the exact same chart as silver? Right? Slowly increasing after a plateau, right? Look at that. A plateau slowly increased, right? It's gonna go parabolic, right? So you want to be on copper pretty heavy, I think. You want to be pretty heavy in copper, do you not? Do we have copper and Maven? I'm actually not even sure. I wouldn't personally be like trading. Yeah, you do. There you go. I personally wouldn't be like trading like super long swing plays on prop firms because I mean you can on Maven because there's no swap fee. But that's just my personal. I prefer just putting low leverage on personal account, but. I mean this trade looks perfectly fine, dude. Like there's no reason. I wonder if U.S. oil is coming down at all. Oh, nice. We want oil to go down, dudes. Okay, let's look at the monthly on oil. Kind of shitty. Ideally, you want oil to go down. Nobody wants so high gas prices. Makes everything more expensive. What lot size do I use? I don't know. One doesn't fucking matter. It's like the worst question you could have ever asked. Oops. Just being honest with you, that's like the most useless question you could have asked. Aside from like just like, hey, how tall are you, sort of thing, or like, what color are your eyes? Like, there's useless questions. You know what I mean? It's like just as equally as useless as asking me the length of my index finger. You know, the measurements I use for things is completely arbitrary, right? It doesn't matter what like even R doesn't really matter, but I can see how people get confused. But guys comment on fake influencers so we control them in the live. Yeah. I need to get some more clickbaity like shorts. I was forgetting. I was trying to remember what things were hitting. It's usually just me like fucking complaining about somebody's trading strategy, like Trades by Psy or Tory Trades, or I don't even know. Like I was gonna say Mamba, but like I don't even like Mamba's trading strategy is like not even like public. He just kind of like, I don't even understand how. Yeah, I don't even understand, dude. Like I don't think he even like tells anybody what he does. I think he's just like a support and resistance sort of thing. But it's like it obviously doesn't work. Just like all of them. Any trader that's like just flashy with their wealth, like you know that they're not trading. You know for certainty they're not trading, right? Because to spend stupid money on stupid things, it makes you the opposite of what a good trader is, right? A good trader is slow, methodical, patient, right? Somebody who does not chase wealth, right? Somebody who's not chase flashy things, that's a good trader, right? Did you see you made it on Trades by Psy Instagram? Did I now? Like he posted me? Let's see. Let me look him up. Because that would be awesome. Trades by Psy. Because then my trolling has worked. Did I make it? Send me the link, dude. Send me the link on Discord or something. Yeah, on his story. Oh no, shoot, I did not. His story's probably gone. Bro is doing swing trading daily. I'm new here. I mean, I'll swing trade or day trade, whatever. I'm currently in swing trades and day trades, both long on the NASDAQ. So somebody's asking obviously about gold. Everyone always wants to know what's going on with gold. Gold's doing. Am I in trades here?
When are you coming to Bambalestar City?
Bambalestein. Never, bro. So People want to know what's going on with gold. Same thing that's been going on with gold for the last month, dude. Nothing, right? It's cooling off after an insane rally, right? NASDAQ is currently the one running, so you should be focused on NASDAQ. I was trading gold when it was running, okay? So switch to the thing that's running. There's three things. NASDAQ, gold, Bitcoin, okay? There's three things. Pick the one that's moving. Trade it, right? It is so easy to trade a market that's going straight up, okay? It is so easy to trade the market that's going straight up, right? Can you say about Q banks? Personally, I don't know anything about Q banks. I've heard his name a ton. I've never looked at him once. Raja Banks, I've actually had like pretty good interactions with Raja Banks. He owns his own brokerage. A lot of people talk about Dominion Markets, right? He owns Dominion Markets, and a lot of people talk about he fakes trades, right? And probably, right? He shows his own trades. But it's his own brokerage that he can edit, right? I can do that too. I own my own brokerage, right? It's a prop firm, but I own my own server. So I can change all my trades and everything as I like to, right? So people could tell me that I'm doing the same thing, right? I rather like Raja, right? He teaches like his wicks don't lie thing. I think it makes a lot of sense. If I were to follow somebody who is more or less an influencer, I'd say he's probably a pretty good one actually, right? And that's really rare for me to say, right? Because he has the nice car and everything, but he's not going crazy flexing it, right? He has a lot of money. He's been doing this for a long time, right? He owns a brokerage, right? And he's very forward with like he has a brokerage, right? So he doesn't advertise himself as a day trader making shitloads of money. So I like that instead. Trades by Sai, I think, is an absolute buffoon. I think Trades by Sai might be single-handedly the worst person in the industry. But anyways, the gold failed to make a new low here. So I'm expecting it to come a bit higher. But realistically, I think it's going to fizzle somewhere in here. You can see where I've got my kind of stop for my longs, right? But again, swing sort of plays, right? I'm just watching it as it goes and plays out. I'm watching closes and whatnot. It failed to make a new low. I think it'll probably you obviously don't want it to go below that 41 level, but I think it'll probably stay above that. Bro, can you explain how to use multiple higher time frames again? What do you mean, bro? Like you like cascading time frames. What you do is you just look at each time frame, and then it's pretty obvious, okay? So like an example here, right? So we're looking at the weekly on gold. And let me just look at okay, we're still in profit, okay? So the lower time frames will play out first. The higher time frames will play out more importantly. Okay, like they'll have more strength, I suppose. Okay, so lower time frames are first, right? So if I say, hey, we failed to make a new low here on the weekly, that means we determine that, hey, we're probably coming for a new high, right? And this is like 90% sort of certainty, right? So it's not completely certain, but you can say with 90% certainty, we're going to come up somewhere in here, okay? Right? So we haven't done that yet. But on lower time frames, you can see, hey, look, lower time frames failed to make a new high. So what must happen on those lower time frames, right, is they play out first. So it comes back down, right, makes a new low, right? And then it is new price discovery, okay? It doesn't matter what happens after that. But that move down doesn't mean that we're not going to still move up here, okay? It just means that this one has to play out first. Okay, it has to play out first, right? And then we can continue with the more major trend, okay? So they all usually play out, but You just got to kind of watch which one's where. Wouldn't consistency score fuck up long trades like a swing plays? Yeah. I mean, you would have to. You would have to. You have two options with consistency score. If you're swing playing, you can either close the trade each day and then reopen it, or you can take 5 swing trades, right? Right. How do you decide which levels you ignore and which are important? Higher time frame candle bodies are important that are untested. The more times it's been tested, the less important it is. Are the colored boxes sessions correct? London, New York, Asia. It's just so I know what time it is because I travel sometimes, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of IG posers that sell you shit, bro. I would say with I would say the Instagram influencers that sell you courses are equally as good as regular traders, which means that majority of them lose money. DMC, yes, correct. DMC is my strategy. Oh man. Oh, it's nice to be back on live stream, bro. Took like a week off. Oh, took a week off. Now we're back, baby. We made an update video a couple months ago. Can you explain the update to entries again? Like I don't honestly like I don't really remember what I speak of in videos that are months old, years old, right? Because that's not my priority to memorize the things that I put in my videos. But what I used to do is I used to draw zones and then DCA into the zone, right? The difference now is I don't DCA, that's all. I pick a level and I enter, right? So an example here, right? Here's an example, right? Is this zone, right? I've drawn a blue box here. I've gained that level, right? On the 4 hours. So you could just DCA into this, right? Draw a zone, right? Here. 1 hour, you draw a zone and you just DCA into it, right? So you could add here and here, right? Which is it's a perfectly viable strategy. I've just preferred to take the method now where I just enter one time, right? Because it's more accurate. I've gotten better over time, so I don't need to DCA, okay? So I don't need to use the hunter zone, whatever it was I was calling it, right? I just enter, right? And usually, I'll enter on the most immediate level usually, right? That's all. %of the time price returns to where it started. I mean, no. That wouldn't make any sense. When you have failures, right? So this right here, we've just failed that level to make a new high. So what it's going to do is it's going to test this level, okay? It needs to satisfy the trend, which is come back to the origin of this move, right? And then it can go up, potentially, right? But you'll see the reaction off of it, right? I'm not reacting to this right now because I don't think that it's bearish, right? I think it's bullish and this is just a small little thing. It doesn't really matter. What do you use to show HHHL of each candle in your chart? I don't know what that means even. Higher high, higher low. What do I use? Are you asking me what these lines are? It's called polytrends. But it literally just draws a line from the pivots. Literally, that's all it does. It's pretty useless. Care to elaborate on the $5 Maven concept? It's a $5 account that you pay when you get funded. Okay, that's all. What's Maven stand for? It's just a word, bro. It's the word Maven. Maven is a word, right? It's like asking what does door stand for? It's just a word. Maven is a word. It doesn't stand for anything. It's an English word. Forex is ash. I'll stay in futures. I would agree with you. I would not trade Forex either, but I trade the NASDAQ or the US 100. It's the same thing. I am currently trading the US 100, which is the same as the NASDAQ. Exactly the same. I wouldn't trade Forex because I think Forex is not a trending market. It's way more difficult to trade. But this is not Forex. This is a CFD-based NASDAQ, okay? So CFD means contract for a difference, which means when you enter into a trade, you have a contract with the broker that you get paid for the amount of money and difference in the price movements, right? So it's not, so CFDs are not actually the real NASDAQ, right? But there's a contract for the difference of price based off of the liquidity provider, right? So you have liquidity providers, right, that have a pool of all the tradable, live trades, right? And then when you enter into a trade, it's a CFD-based trade, right? Contract for a difference, right? Where you're entered into a contract with your brokerage that the brokerage has to pay you for the amount of where that price changes, and the price changes are based off of other orders that are sent to the liquidity provider. So it's essentially the same. It's a decentralized model, okay? So CFDs are essentially just a decentralized model of the CME. That's it. That's literally it. It's decentralized by multiple tier 1 banks instead of just one CME. Do I like Max? Yeah, he's cool. Does CFD have spreads like Forex? Yeah, I mean everything has a spread. Every single thing that you trade ever has a spread. It's literally just the price difference between buying and selling, right? So everything has to have a spread, right? Futures has a spread. CME has a spread, right? Forex has a spread. CFDs have a spread. Everything has a spread. Now you might be asking, is there a larger spread on CFDs? Generally, yes, because it's decentralized. The CME is incredibly liquid.
You do giveaways on stream.
I do giveaways on stream. Let's do one right now. Let's do one right now, bro. Spin the wheel. Maven account. Maven account. Maven account. 10K instant account from Maven. Sweet. Okay. So let's go plus back, baby. Okay. Type in plus back, baby, in the chat. If you're subscribed, you get more entries. For 10K instant account from Maven. Trading sumo, trading model. I trade very similar to trading sumo, yeah. He would be the closest person that I would be similar to. Can you stack $5 accounts? Yes, I suppose so. I don't see why not. Let's go. See, look what I said is it would come down to this low, test that level, and then it would see what happened, right? So I'm just not sure how quick it'll come up, but it seems like the fucking market's already dead for the day. Is it not? Is the market already dead for the day? I mean, potentially we just let this sit, you know, like what we want to see is in the next 30 minutes. Let me look at the yeah, they're just fucking flatlining, eh? That was a nice close. That was a nice close there. This looks like it's going to come up. It failed to make a new low there, so it looks like it'll come up still. I'm bullish. I'm bullish. I'm bullish.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm bullish. Okay, let's spin it. Sadarson. Nice. Congrats, bro. Open up a ticket with Maven. Talk to them. Talk to Maven. You want a 10K instant. Fall down. This is very, very boring. Flatlined when we started streaming. We literally started streaming like right here when it started flatlining, right? It was like 9:30. It just stopped moving when we started. I hate it when it does that, bro. I need to stream earlier. You know? What we want to see. Let's see here. 5 minutes for the 2-hour close, but that's not super. Yeah, you can see here, like on the real-time hours, right? They failed to make that new low, right? So they might come down and test it, right? They might come down and test this again or whatever, right? I don't know. Same on the hourly, right? They might come and test it again. I don't know. But it looks bullish. Still bullish. Would you recommend trading in the weekends if you had to choose? I personally, I like to take days off.
When you say open a ticket, you mean on the website or on the Discord?
Yeah, on the website. I don't think there's tickets on the Discord anymore. Is there any point in comparing two different charts like ES and NQ? Yeah, totally. That's actually a really good question, bro. Let me pull up this again, okay? The Globex hours, okay? And let's just look at, actually I should just go MES, right? I should just add this to the MES. There we go. I'm gonna add to there. Wait, where is it? MES, okay. I'll add the MES here, okay? So it's actually a really, really good question. It's like, why would we want to compare NASDAQ and NQ, okay? There's two reasons. The one is, and personally, I don't do this, but you could do this because it creates confusion. So let's talk about the benefits, the pros and cons of using both, okay? The pros, right? The one option is if one of the charts is not moving the way that you want it to be moving, you could jump over to the other one, right? So let's say, for example, here's an example, right? Here's a perfect example, actually, right away. ES has closed pretty bearishly, right? Pretty bearishly, rejecting off these levels, probably going to be coming back down to these zones. But I'm a bull on the market overall, right? So I don't want to be trading the ES. So maybe if I'm a bull overall, I want to be on the NASDAQ, okay? If I think the market's going up, right, then I can say, hey, which one is the most bullish, okay? And it would very obviously be the NASDAQ, okay? So I would be then trading the NASDAQ, okay? So that's a really good benefit. Another benefit that you could use is, hey, I will only trade when both of them are telling me the same thing, getting confluence, right? So right now I might not be trading because, hey, this could be bearish and the NASDAQ could be bullish, right? So maybe I won't trade. So that'll give me opportunities to not take losses. Okay. But the downside is if you're watching two things, it's going to be more confusing, right? First of all, right? And so you'll have to be paying attention to both. Like if I'm locked into the NASDAQ, I know what the NASDAQ shape is all the time. I can memorize it, but I can't do that with two assets at once, okay? If I'm day trading, I can't really do that with two assets very easily. I'm going to make more mistakes. So you are going to take losses because of that, because you're going to make mistakes, okay? The other drawdown is you could overtrade because of it too, right? If you have poor control, you could say, hey, you know, I just took a trade on the NASDAQ. Now there's no trade here, but oh, there's a nice one on the ES, right? And you're trying to cover those losses. Nice short here now, right? You could be overtrading more because there's more opportunities to overtrade, okay? So just with how there's more opportunities to trade, there's more opportunities to overtrade, okay? So it's a double-edged sword, right? To have more options is not always good, okay? So personally, I don't like doing that because I like to be very good at one thing and that's it, okay? And this looks like it's rejecting potentially here, but you know, it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of torn. Okay, it's kind of torn. But you could be using that as confluence and you could say, hey, you know, ES is going down. The NASDAQ is kind of torn. So maybe I don't want to be in a long right now. Okay. So here's the thing though, is if I'm looking at both of them and I say, hey, maybe I should get out of this long right now because the ES is bearish. Well, maybe what I'll get out of the ES, but that then stops my strategy from working, right? My strategy, I know works. If I watch the NASDAQ and I do this and I follow the trend, right? And I wait for these failures and I shoot for the new highs, right? I know that works. I know I make money with that. If I'm getting out of winners because of these trades, again, double-edged sword. I could second guess myself. I don't like doing that. I don't like having options. And that is my personal way of trading, is the more options I have, the more difficult it is for me to make decisions. It's the same logic as if you go into the cereal aisle and you go pick up some breakfast, right? And there's 100 different cereals. Which one do you choose? It takes you a long time to figure things out, right? Long time to figure out what's the best one. And you're probably not making the best decision because, you know, it's too much, right? But if there's only two options, you know, red cereal, blue cereal, I'm like, I want the blue cereal, right? I like blue better, right? It's very obvious what I should be doing. So the fewer options in my mind, it's easier for me to process, easier for me to think. So I don't like using confluence. The same reason I've completely created dumb money concepts the way it is, right? Is it's so incredibly stupid easy that I don't have to think, right? I failed to make a new low. So I'm going to move back towards the level that brought us down here. Okay. That's it. Right. And all I want to do is make sure that I don't, so all I'm going to be doing, put my stop here sort of thing. Right. And I believe that if we failed this level, then we're probably not going to get below here before we hit up here. Probably not. Okay. And that's the whole so that's all I need to know. But if I start fucking with it by looking at other things, well, you know, it's like, again, it's like going into the cereal aisle and all I want to do is pick the one with the most protein. But then I go there and it's like, oh, all these no, it's like, look at the back of the box. That's all I need to do. I don't need all these distractions, right? I don't need to figure things out. I just follow the rule. Okay. You know what I mean? How do you read gaps? Gaps are just levels. That's it. It's just the same. It's the same. It's just like the candle bodies are levels. The gap is just no level. There's just no levels there in a gap. That's it. So the candle bodies between the gaps are levels, but the gap is nothing. That's it. Like, I'll just show you. I'll show you, right? So this is a level. They failed it, right? They failed it. And then this is also a level. There's nothing here. That's it. Like, it doesn't, again, don't overcomplicate shit, right? There's a level, and then there's nothing. That's it. Oops. That's it, bro. You don't believe in liquidity sweeps? Not in the way that you're talking about them. I believe that price has to find the direction it's going to go, and it has to satisfy trend, okay? In order to satisfy trend, you have to continuously attempt to make new highs and lows, right? So a liquidity sweep, as you think of it, is people hunting liquidity, and that does not exist. I know it's certain, like, there's no hunting liquidity. What they're doing is attempting to make new highs and lows and then failing or gaining, right? People, it's either sustainable or unsustainable, okay? So they're not hunting your stops. You just think that because you're predisposed to being focused on your pain, okay? You're predisposed to being focused on your pain and losses. So you think that when your stops get hit, it was targeting you, okay? I'm going to keep that on there, actually. Yeah. But the reality is, there's a lot of times where attempts, like, look at this. Like, here's a low, right? Let's say you longed here. There's an attempt for a new low, and they successfully made a new low, right? And you wouldn't call that a liquidity hunt, right? No, that's a successful new low. But here, they attempted to make a new high, and they were unable to, right? So you would have called this a liquidity hunt. No. It's 50-50. It's 50-50. They either make a new high, or they don't, or so they either make a new low or they fail, right? They either continue or fail, right? It's 50-50. So obviously you're going to focus on the pain point, right? It's just literally 50-50. But you're pretty much explained liquidity sweep, though, in your concept. Just because it looks that way, right? Just because it looks that way doesn't mean that that's what's happening, right? Do you understand what I mean? Like so just because this looked like it hunted stops here doesn't mean that they're actually trying to hunt stops. It's an attempt to make a new low, and then price decided that, hey, I don't want to be a seller here, right? If you look at the market this way, you're going to have a much better understanding of like what's actually happening, right? Rather than being hurt by the market, you're going to see a non-biased point of view, okay? And being non-biased is much better for your profitability, okay? Being biased makes you feel pain and revenge and FOMO and over trading, okay? But when you say, hey, this was an attempt to make a new low and they failed, well, what does that mean? It means if they cannot sustain a new low, then what price needs to do is come up higher before people sell again. That's it. Nobody wants to sell here because it's too low. It doesn't matter where it is, but everyone thinks, on average, people think that this is too low, so it has to go up. That's all that means. They think it's too low, so people bought here. People bought here because it was too low, right? So they'll probably sell here because it'll be too high, right? That's it. Is DMC on TradingView as an indicator? No. Right, nice. Price is coming up. I always just use one volume. Hey, I just use one lot all the time. Like, I don't really care. We just trade for demonstration here, right? So you guys can learn, and then you can practice on Maven too. So if you want to check out Maven, you can use code DMC for 10% off any account, or OMO 40% off on the OMO challenges, right? Hopefully this gains here. Looks like a nice little pump, but they might just range it a bit. Can I join the support team? No. Anyways, I think we got some good clips. I don't think this market's going to be very interesting, actually, so I'm not going to wait around while it's being boring. We're gonna come back tomorrow. Honestly, I was up at 6 this morning and I was like, I'm so tired. I just laid in bed for a bit longer. Hopefully we can start doing some opens, but if not, we'll do kind of these lunch hour shit, you know? What's the Omo challenge? You can check it out on Maven, bro. It's a pretty cheap challenge, like $9, $15. It's super, super cheap. Very accessible. Anyways, I'm gonna let this trade run. Let me just place some targets and stops, okay? So you guys can kind of have some guidance. Boom. And boom. We'll go here. 1 hour sort of thing, right? So let that run. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.